Now, it's WJZ, Maryland's news station.
Nightmare on wheels. A hit and run in Fells Point leaves a woman in serious condition. The shocking video and more on the suspect charged.
Good evening, I'm Marcus Washington, and here's what people are talking about tonight. The horrifying scene of a woman being run over by a van is caught on tape. This all happening in front of a crowd of people in Fells Point early this morning. WJZ is live in Fells Point. Amy Incy with more on what led to the incident. Amy.
Marcus, police say this driver may have been fearing for his life, but say there's absolutely no justification for what he did. And if you look down here, you can actually still see the tire marks of where in his van he jumped the curb and then hit that woman. And if you walk with me this way, you can actually see that the bar that he also crashed into is still boarded up. There's a sign here that says, "Pardon our mess." It was a completely chaotic scene here unfolding hours ago. It's a miracle this woman is even alive. The video starts with someone banging on the driver's side of the minivan. The driver tries to get away, but slams into a stopped car. He hits reverse before ramming into a car a second time, shoving it all the way into the intersection. The driver hits reverse, veers off the road, jumps the curb, and backs down the sidewalk, running over a woman as she exits a building. It happened at around 2:15 Saturday morning on Broadway in Fells Point. Startled onlookers frantically try to get out of the way. The woman still lodged beneath the tires when the minivan barrels down the sidewalk and almost crashes into another car as it screeches down the road. The 27-year-old woman clings to life on the sidewalk.
He appeared to be a victim of an assault at a certain point, but our investigation also leads us to believe that this person was under the influence of alcohol.
Police identify the driver as 28-year-old Orlando Red of Parkville. They caught up with him in the 1999 Honda Odyssey and arrested him. This Facebook video appears to show the bar fight police say happened right before the accident. The Dog Watch Tavern and the block it's on, all part of the crime scene. The wreckage showing the absolute chaos that ensued. This man doesn't want to share his name, but filmed the dramatic video after hearing an argument outside his window.
I expected some typical pushing and shoving, maybe a swing, just typical stuff, and yeah, it just got crazy.
The victim is in serious but stable condition at Johns Hopkins with multiple injuries.
Multiple fractures to her skull, a laceration to her hip, and bruised lung.
Now, Red is in police custody tonight and right now is only facing charges for the traffic violations, but could face more charges as this investigation continues. We're live tonight in Fells Point. Amy Incy, WJZ Eyewitness News. Back to you, Marcus.
Chilling video, Amy. We're hoping that that woman is okay. And police are thanking the man who recorded that video, which they say has been so helpful in the investigation. And new this evening, a pedestrian struck by a vehicle in Randallstown just hours ago. Police were on the scene where a pedestrian was hit by a car on Liberty Road in Pikesville Drive while trying to cross the street.
This is WJZ TV, Baltimore.
In your community, where you live. Now, it's WJZ, Maryland's news station.
Hello again, I'm Jessica Cartalia.
And I'm Lynn Bowie.
And here's what people are certainly talking about today. We begin with breaking news: deadly terrorist attacks in Brussels, Belgium. Bombs exploded at the airport and one of the city's metro stations, killing more than 36 people. WJZ has complete coverage. We begin with Tina Kraus.
Armed police are on high alert across Brussels, and Belgium's foreign minister is warning authorities fear more suspected terrorists may be on the run in the city. Survivors ran for safety as smoke and chaos filled the airport terminal in Brussels. Dozens are injured after two powerful explosions. One blast caved in a ceiling on stunned travelers and blew out the terminal's windows. CBS News has learned police found an unexploded device, possibly a suicide vest, and a Kalashnikov Russian assault rifle. This woman was with her daughter, who's now missing.
My husband called the American embassy, and they're looking for her too.
3 missionaries from Utah were seriously injured in the airport blasts. Less than a half hour later, an explosion ripped through a subway station during the morning rush hour near the U.S. Embassy in Brussels. More than a dozen people were killed and more than 100 injured. Some passengers had to find their way out through dark tunnels. Belgium's prime minister says what we feared has happened. President Obama called him from Cuba this morning.
The thoughts and the prayers of the American people are with the people of Belgium, and we stand in solidarity with them.
The attacks come just days after the arrest of Salah Abdeslam, the prime suspect in the Paris terror attacks last November.
They were probably concerned that he was going to talk to authorities, and they moved this up.
Police have now shut down Brussels' entire transport system, diverting all planes and trains away from the Belgian capital, and authorities are urging people to stay home. Here in London, British Prime Minister David Cameron called the attacks appalling. He vowed, quote, "We will never let these terrorists win." Live in London, Tina Kraus, CBS News.
Tina, thank you. And WJZ's complete coverage continues with Mike Hsu live with how these attacks are affecting security here in the U.S. Mike.
Well, there's no direct threat. Maryland Transit is now on a heightened level of awareness. K9 checks over passengers at Washington's Union Station.
You get a sense of comfort knowing that the security has heightened because of what's going on, but it's also scary.
A similar scene at New York's Penn Station, an underground nest of intersecting trains and subway lines.
We in New York City stand ready to fight against terror in every way.
Many other U.S. air and train stations have upped security to try to prevent this from happening here.
Airports and in subways is the perfect place for them to conduct an attack because it creates the most fear.
Law enforcement says they're trained for situations like this.
Kind of attacks in Brussels are one of the many risks that the Washington Metro region studies, prepares for, drills for.
Dave Schneider helps to coordinate emergency preps in D.C. He says passengers have a role to play.
They see a left suitcase, for example, or they see someone acting unusually. It's critical that they contact the authorities, and that's a message we need to repeat day in and day out, but particularly on a day like this.
Authorities say that we're seeing this not because of a specific threat here, but because of what happened in Brussels. And here in Maryland, BWI will not get into the details of any security changes here. Jess, back to you.
All right, Mike, thank you. And just a short time ago, President Obama spoke about the terror attacks from Cuba. Amy Yensi is in the newsroom with the details. Amy?
Well, Jess, President Obama delivered remarks this morning in Havana. The president and his family are currently in Cuba on a historic visit. He was scheduled to address the Cuban people, but first he acknowledged the brutal attacks on Brussels this morning, calling it yet another reminder that the world must unite against terrorism. Today is
The thoughts and the prayers of the American people are with the people of Belgium, and we stand in solidarity with them in condemning these outrageous attacks against innocent people. We will do whatever is necessary to support our friend and ally Belgium in bringing to justice those who are responsible. We can and we will defeat those who threaten the safety and security of people all around the world.
Today is the president's third and final day in the island nation. Jess, back to you.
Amy, thank you. And here's what you need to know about the terror attacks in Brussels. There were 3 explosions this morning, 1 outside of the Brussels metro, 2 at the airport. The Islamic State has claimed responsibility for the attacks. At least 36 people have been killed in the blast and more than 100 were injured. And at least 3 Americans were injured. They are Mormon missionaries from Utah. Stay with WJZ for complete coverage of the Brussels terror attacks. We will continue to bring you the very latest developments on Eyewitness News at 4, 5, and 6 and on CBSBaltimore.com.
Police investigate a deadly crash that happened overnight in Annapolis. It happened on Bay Ridge and Forest Hill Avenues. Officers found a single vehicle just off the road on its side. 1 person was pronounced dead at the scene. Another was flown to shock trauma. The cause of that crash is under investigation.